It's the Weather Xtreme video. This is the afternoon edition for Tuesday, the 28th of February. I'm James Spann. Tomorrow kicks off tornado season, kicks off meteorological spring, and sure enough, we have an active day coming up, so let's dive in here and check things out this afternoon. Here's the water vapor satellite view. Big trough in the western states. Very active pattern setting up with severe storms possible tonight, north and west of the state. And again, we'll have the chance of severe storms tomorrow. That was a radar a little before 2 o'clock. A little bit of patchy light rain across the northern third of the state, but the rest of Alabama is mostly dry. And it is warmer today. Yesterday we stayed in the 50s all day. Well, Tuscaloosa's up to 72, Birmingham at 70. The cool spot's Fort Payne. Sometimes hard to scour out the cold air in those valleys up there. They're sitting at 55, but everybody will likely be in the 70s tomorrow. And around the region, look at Jackson, Mississippi, 81. We've got Shreveport at 83. And very unstable air setting up west of the state there. Here's the current watch warning map around the nation. Flash flood watches up north, parts of Kentucky, Ohio, Indiana, West Virginia. Wind advisories for parts of West Texas, the Panhandle, parts of New Mexico. And, of course, this is the big story, potential for a pretty rough night for our friends north and west of the state. We have a severe weather risk basically from near Texarkana and Shreveport to Cleveland and Pittsburgh. A moderate risk now for places like St. Louis and Indianapolis. And in that moderate risk, we have the tornado probabilities looking like this, 15%. That's pretty high for tornado probabilities. But again, all of those crosshatched areas may be seeing a significant tornado or two tonight. And again, that includes St. Louis and Indianapolis, Paducah, Kentucky. So we'll be keeping an eye on things. Now, we note there is a marginal severe weather risk tonight. And keep in mind, this runs through 6 a.m. tomorrow. The marginal risk includes about the northern third of the state. We'll see some storms drifting into northwest Alabama early tomorrow morning. And they might pack a punch, but I think the main area to be affected would be the far northwestern corner of the state, up around the shoals. Now, tomorrow, the entire eastern third of the country with a chance of strong to severe storms. And you can see that enhanced risk running from North Alabama up to Cincinnati. It's been trimmed back a little bit in Alabama, the enhanced risk. The main surface low pretty far north, and I think that's a good call. The enhanced risk is now for the northern third of the state. Gadsden, Gardendale, Jasper, Vernon North. The standard slight risk down to Grove Hill, Greenville, Troy, Eufaula. A marginal risk for the rest of the state down in far south Alabama. And we'll talk more about this as we go. And the rain for the next 7 days, 1.5 inches for the Tennessee Valley. Lighter amounts down to the south. So model fans, here we go. This is tomorrow at noon off the GFS, the 12Z run. Troughing. The core of the trough north and west of here. Down below that, the surface low pretty far north. It's near Detroit. 992 millibars with a trailing front down to Memphis and Houston. And again, traditionally, when you see the surface low that far north, that tends to reduce the tornado threat, and we think that will be the case. Now, tonight, yes, a tornado threat for sure. Like this is the STP at midnight tonight, 12 a.m. Wednesday. And the STP ramps up to almost 11 units over parts of southern Missouri. So again, late tonight, the concern for tornadoes over parts of Arkansas, Missouri, over into Illinois, Indiana, western Kentucky. Now, you see some high STP values back in the North Texas, but I think they might be capped off, and I'm not so sure anything happens there. This is 6 a.m. tomorrow off the HUR. And you can see potential for severe storms over Kentucky, parts of Tennessee, and Arkansas, and some of those could clip the northwestern corner of the state early tomorrow morning. But generally speaking, overnight tonight, things should be fairly quiet. This is the STP tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock. And again, numbers are fairly high near and just south and west, or south and east of Memphis. So we'll watch those early morning storms. But this is tomorrow afternoon. This is when we think we have our issues here. 3 o'clock tomorrow, a line of storms, a single line. I think it'll blow through pretty quickly. Not going to be a long-lasting event. And traditionally, with the line, when it's linear, the main issue is strong straight-line winds. We think that will be the case. Now, by 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, quite frankly, the higher winds at 5,000 feet have veered on off to the east. This is the low-level jet. And also we note the low-level jet is basically out of the west, not out of the south. And again, that really reduces any tornado threat. Instability values in advance of the front relatively high, and again, this is 3 o'clock tomorrow, and you can pick out the front where the Cape line is from near Scottsboro down to about Fayette. Instability values about 1,500 joules down below that, so the air is fairly unstable. STP values ramp up to about 1 or 2 units, but again, looking at the sounding, that's not your classic tornado sounding. Still, could there be a tornado? Yes, but they should be fairly small and fairly isolated. The main threat from strong straight-line winds. And again, this is what we're putting out to the world, if you will. The main threat for northwest Alabama, noon to 4. And again, this is not counting the early morning storms that might be in play up there. Tomorrow during the afternoon, noon to 4, northwest Alabama, 2 to 6, Birmingham, Tuscaloosa, Anniston, Gadsden, and then 6 to 10, Montgomery, Auburn, Troy, Greenville. And as always, be sure you can hear warnings. Main threats, damaging winds, large hail, and maybe a few isolated tornadoes. Thursday, cool, dry air blows in. The high will drop into the low 60s with a pretty good northwest breeze. The sky should be sunny. Friday, the morning will be cold, lows down in the 30s. The high Friday only around 60. In fact, we might stay in the upper 50s, but the sky will be sunny. These are the anomalies on Friday. And again, you can see below average for much of the country. Saturday morning, a freeze is likely. The latest GFS data I'm seeing is showing 30 for Birmingham. Colder pockets go in the 20s. The sky will be sunny and the high should be around 60. Sunday, we start the day around 40. Some of the colder pockets will go back in the 30s, and the high Sunday afternoon should be in the mid to upper 60s. The sky will be mostly sunny. And Monday, moisture starts to return west of the state. Monday looks dry, partly sunny with a high close to 70. And a week from today, this is Tuesday, March the 7th, still a zonal flow. A front comes in, but there's not much upper support with that. And I don't think this is a severe weather threat, but a chance of showers by Tuesday afternoon of next week. This is the end of the forecast period. Friday of next week, the 10th of March, troughing on the East Coast. Again, that looks cool and dry. Here's the output off the GFS. You see it's got us down to 32 Saturday morning. And after that, highs in the 60s and lows mostly in the 40s, not too far from average values for March in Alabama. That's it for the Weather Xtreme video this afternoon. We'll have notes in the blog. The next video here by 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. If you can't catch us this evening on the live stream or on television, ABC 3340 News at 4, 5, 6, and 10 o'clock. Thanks for watching. Have a great evening and God bless.